Guys of a Certain Age is brought to you by no one. Absolutely no one. Except these dudes walking down memory lane. Now let's head to the studio to see what they misremember next.
It's the podcast that doesn't understand the word spring break, but has got procrastination down straight up. It's Robbie Koblenz, Guys of a Certain Age, alongside
Art Shirley. I procrastinated with my...
was it procrastination or forgetfulness?
I actually forgot who I was.
Yeah.
I thought I was Jay Reed.
Reed.
Who's not here.
Who's not here. We don't know where Jay is, but...
I think he's at work.
He probably is at work. He'd rather be here. He always would prefer to be here with us, right?
I would think so.
Except when he doesn't.
Maybe not. Yeah.
Poor Jay.
Maybe not.
Poor Jay. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. It's been a long time getting to Friday this week.
I tell you what, it's been kind of crazy. And the potential of bad weather.
Yes, as we record.
Yeah, as we record tonight and tomorrow.
Yes.
But, here we are.
Here we are.
Welcome to spring.
That's right.
So, let's jump into some Geeks of the Week. Who wants to go first?
Jay? Oh, well, okay. Since he's not here, I'll go first.
I mean, he missed his opportunity.
He did. This was going to be his day.
Yeah. But
news has come out that Sadie Sink, who was in Stranger Things, and I can't remember her character's name in Stranger Things. I was looking it up to see who it was, but I can't remember who she was. We'll figure it out later. I actually am looking it up on that device. Max Mayfield.
Yeah, she was Max in Stranger Things.
Yeah, that's right. Is rumored to be, actually she's been hired. She's actually been hired by the MCU. She's playing a character as yet unknown. She's supposed to appear alongside Tom Holland in the new Spider-Man movie, and we're wondering, is she going to play Jean Grey or she's going to play Mary Jane Watson? I'm hoping for Jean Grey.
She's got to be Mary Jane.
You think she's going to be Mary Jane?
Well, I mean, if she's hired for Spider-Man 4.
Well, I think maybe they're going to introduce X-Men through that, start doing that. Maybe she'll be a classmate of Peter Parker. I want her to play Jean Grey. I think she'd be great as Jean Grey.
I think she'd be a great Jean Grey.
If she'd be a great Mary Jane Watson, but, I don't know if this will be the fourth Mary Jane Watson we've introduced in over 3 Spider-Men's.
Yeah, it will, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Kirsten Dunst, Emma Stone.
Yeah.
And
Zendaya.
Yeah.
And then, but there's also been speculation she could play Gwen Stacy.
Really?
I've seen that.
I hadn't seen that. That's the article I said either of those two. X-Men favorite, Jean Grey or Mary Jane Watson, so we don't know. Like I said, I think she'd be good either way.
Or Jean Watson.
Jean Watson. Yeah. Mary Jane Grey.
I mean, if the Hulk can do that with David Bruce Banner.
Yeah, David Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
I watched the intro for the old Incredible Hulk the other day.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I saw something. There's always a meme that shows him hitchhiking on the highway. If you know who this guy is, your joints are probably telling you when the weather is about to change.
Do you know what the name of the closing credit thing?
Lonely Man or something?
Lonely Man.
Yeah. And one of my favorite things about the Edward Norton Hulk, and I thought that was a good Hulk movie. I enjoyed that movie.
Yeah.
But was that they incorporated that theme into some of the soundtrack.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
But
anyway, so
Sadie Sink.
Sadie Sink. Yeah, Sadie Sink, Max Mayfield. She's got Marvel names right there with the double.
She really
double
does.
Consonants.
She really does.
Yeah. Maybe she'll play Peter Parker. Patty Parker. Spider Woman. So I guess we'll probably find out sooner rather than later. I don't think it's going to be a surprise announcement or whatever. But
have they released a Stranger Things
trailer yet? I have not seen one.
There hasn't been a trailer.
But it should be coming out pretty soon.
Season 5.
Right?
It's going to be this year.
But
they have not seen anything. They haven't said anything about when.
I think the episodes are almost an hour and a half long each. They said it's like however many episodes there are, 8 mini movies. So it's a pretty complete thing. But
the kids are now on Social Security.
The kids in their late 40s.
Yeah.
Are
you before I get into my geek? Are you watching Severance?
Oh yeah.
All right. So
I haven't watched today's.
Yeah, last night.
Yeah. Was it come out on Thursday night?
Yeah.
We always are a few days behind because we wait to watch it with Will. He's watching it with us. So I've only watched when Harmony goes back to Salt Neck. Yeah.
I mean, what? Wow. The names, This has been an incredible season for Severance.
Yeah, I will say the last 2 episodes, I get the world building and stuff, but have been just a little severed. Yeah. So I'm anxious to see what they do, how they bring it all back together. Because how many episodes do they have left now? Are we at 6?
No, today's is 9.
Today's is 9 out of 10. Okay, yeah.
So it's the penultimate episode.
Penultimate episode, yes. Okay, we may have to go and watch that today.
I mean, it's great. Have you watched Daredevil?
I haven't watched any of Daredevil yet.
Oh.
I started The Penguin and watched a couple episodes of The Penguin and really liked it, but it's just one of those, Becky's not going to watch it, so I kind of have to remember to watch it, when she's not watching something.
Yeah.
And I think Daredevil's going to be the same. But is Daredevil good?
It's great.
How many, is it weekly episode release?
Yeah.
Okay.
So episode 3 dropped earlier this week. And
are they hour-long, 45-minute kind of things?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And, Vincent D'Onofrio is Kingpin.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
He's just a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, who plays Matt Murdock?
Charlie Cox.
Picked up where he left off.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great.
Okay.
It's really, really
well,
good.
I've been meaning to watch it. I just hadn't.
This last episode was incredible.
It's one of those, again, where I want to give it the attention it deserves and not sit there and kind of halfway watch it.
And go to sleep.
Yeah. So maybe I'll try that this weekend. And like I said, I've enjoyed The Penguin. The Penguin is y'all talked about that earlier, but it very much feels more like, a gangster movie, Sopranos, Godfather, whatever.
Yeah.
Comic book movie. But gosh, it's been good so far.
Yeah. All right, My Geek has its own intro music. That's the iconic theme song to Ted Lasso. Today, as we record, Apple has announced that Ted, Jason Sudeikis, the whole crew, I think most of the crew, returning for season 4.
Yeah.
So
pretty much everybody's coming back, right?
I don't know who's under contract, but Sudeikis has confirmed.
And I was kind of surprised. I thought he might not come back and they do something with him out of the picture, or maybe he would come back as a supporting character, as a recurring character.
Kind of like Steve Carell did the last episode of The Office sort of thing. According to Variety, let's see, Hannah Waddington, Brett Goldstein, and Jeremy Swift are all under contract. So, here's the statement. As we all continue to live in a world where so many factors have conditioned us to look before we leap, in season 4, the folks at AFC Richmond learn to leap before they look, discovering that wherever they land, it's exactly where they're meant to be.
Okay.
So
I heard a rumor he's a women's football coach now.
Really?
Which, what in the U.S.?
I mean, he ended up back.
And do they mean soccer as opposed to what they call it football? So would that be I think if he was in the U.S. women's team, that would be a soccer team. But, but maybe they just are sticking. Maybe it was a British writer too that was sticking kind of with the idea that football is life.
Is life. So, Sudeikis is going to be an executive producer, and Brendan Hunt is also, Coach Beard has been put on as an EP, along with a bunch of other folks. So, but it's a little surprising to me it's taken this long.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's a good thing rather than a bad thing.
Yeah,
I have a real concern that they're going to come in and it's not going to measure up to what they did before, but I'm kind of hoping that maybe they waited till it felt right, that they didn't just go in and go, okay, this we let's take a year off and then come back.
Well, you had Ted Lasso, then you had Welcome to Wrexham, right? That kind of filled that soccer football void. And now, I mean, since every Hollywood star is jumping in and buying a piece of a soccer team around the world, figured might as well milk it for all it's worth.
I mean, they kind of helped usher in, at least in United States, soccer popularity. They helped contribute to that. I mean, there's a lot of other factors. Your boys may be the same way. You may be the same way. My sons are, are much more attuned to soccer.
Yeah,
than certainly than I was, but even probably more so than football in some cases, American football.
David watches. Mark could care less. David watches Arsenal as much as he watches Mississippi State or the New Orleans Saints, and he is very emotionally invested into Arsenal. So,
So yeah, like you said, right now, why not ride that wave a little more?
Yeah, well, Apple still has a little bit of money.
Yeah, that's right.
But anyway, that again, it's been a little while. Season 3 was good, not as good as season 1 and 2. So maybe they can recapture a little bit of something.
Yeah,
But,
I think so. Maybe, and I think if they twist things around, maybe shake things up a little bit, they'll be able to do that.
Sudeikis hasn't really done anything since Lasso wrapped.
I can't remember. I can't think of anything he's done.
Brett Smith's done a couple of things.
Hannah Waddingham has done some specials. She's doing some commercials for cruise lines.
Yeah.
But she did a great Christmas special that was really, really good.
I watched like 20 minutes of it and fell asleep.
I think Jay and I both. Did we do a show on it? Maybe we did. Or maybe we just talked about it.
I think we just talked about it. So that may have been one of the geeks.
And of course, who said Brett?
Goldstein.
He's very involved in shrinking.
Yeah.
So that's a big. I haven't watched more than an episode or two of that.
I couldn't get into it.
They kept saying, "Oh, if you like Ted Lasso," and I said, "It's just not the same as Ted Lasso to me." People love it. I just didn't care for it. And maybe I went into it with the wrong approach, thinking it was going to be like Ted Lasso.
Did you get into Mythic Quest at all?
I haven't watched that at all.
It's pretty fun.
Okay.
And it's just super easy to consume. It's half-hour bites.
May do that. That may be something Will and I would like to watch.
There's a lot of stereotypes in the video game industry. Yeah. And it's pretty fun.
But one of the guys is from Always Sunny, right?
Yeah, Rob McElhaney.
Yeah,
co-owns Wrexham.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Key, what's Key? Who's involved in Wrexham at an operational level, who is a writer on Sunny, and his wife is a writer on Sunny. He's involved in Mythic Quest.
Oh, okay.
I cannot remember it'll come to me. Yeah.
Okay.
But
I'll have to check it out. Is it all out now? Is it ongoing?
Like season 4 is?
Wow, there's season 4 of it.
Yeah, 2/3 of the way done.
Good grief! How many episodes per season?
Like 8.
Oh, okay.
And they're half hour.
Yeah, so you said it's not a hard thing to get.
No, it's a lot of fun.
Okay,
it's a lot of fun. So
I'll check it out.
All right, we're going to take a break. Then we're going to head over to Paradise. Up next. And we're back. You haven't fallen to Jay Reed's Spotify stream. Does Jay even know what Spotify is?
Sure he does.
You think?
It's a household cleaner.
Wow. That was the longest intro in history. I'll probably edit it down. Another Day in Paradise by Phil Collins, which was a solo hit for him in the late 80s.
Yeah.
Which leads us into the Hulu series Paradise, which has...
But you told us from the beginning we should watch.
When are you going to learn?
Well, and again, this is one that I started watching and realized, okay, I need to give this my full attention. This is not one we need to watch with the iPhone in hand and not pay attention. So we backed up and said, okay, let's watch it. And I think Will, Becky, and I watched the first episode and just loved it. And then we told Will, this is not one we can wait on you. We're going to go ahead and watch. So we finished the whole thing up in the weekend after we watched just last weekend. So, we really liked it a lot.
This is the show where Cyborg dies.
Cyborg dies. I thought about that. Yes.
Yeah. So
James Marsden plays the president.
He plays the president.
Spoilers, by the way, for both this and X-Men from 1992.
Yeah. Cyborg dies. So one of the ongoing stories in the Guys of a Certain Age lore. So Sterling K. Brown
from This Is Us,
from
most
This
famously,
Is Us. And James
Marsden's in it, yeah.
And I didn't really recognize anybody else.
I had seen the woman who plays Sinatra, and I'm not recalling her name.
Is that Julianne Nicholson?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd seen her in some stuff. She was in Mayor of Winningham, or what? Mayor of
Easttown.
Easttown.
Oh, yeah, she wasn't she?
Mayor Winningham, I think, is an actress.
Yeah.
Mayor of Easttown, yeah. So she was in that. So we'd seen her before. We weren't sure where we had seen her from until we looked it up.
She had a good run on Law and Order: Criminal Intent.
Yeah. And of course Gerald McRaney's in it.
Oh yeah. Which Mississippi. Native son. So
icon. Yeah. Just.
It's
I'm sure there were probably others, but yeah, for the most part, I did not know this cast.
So Dan Fogelman created it. He was executive producer. Fogelman and Sterling K. Brown joined together for This Is Us.
Yeah.
So he created This Is Us, which I never watched. You guys enjoyed This Is Us quite a bit, didn't you?
Yes, we did. And I suddenly think I may have recognized one of the characters from it who's also from This Is Us, but I'm not sure. But I won't go into that until we know better.
Yeah.
But we really like This Is Us.
So
we kind of bailed out in later seasons and ended up watching the last season, but we liked it for the most part.
That was one of the shows that just really took America by storm.
Yeah, it really did.
So,
yeah.
But Fogelman, and as I understand, came to Sterling K and said, "Hey, I've got this great episode." And Sterling K has kind of come out of nowhere. I mean, This Was Us was his first real
thing, yeah. And he's just a solid actor, and whatever he's in, he's good. He's been in one of the Alien and Predator movies, one of the late things, but he's a really good part of that.
So he, when HBO Max came into existence, they did a kind of a 20-year anniversary of The West Wing. They recreated Hartsfield Landing as kind of a stage play.
Oh, yeah.
And John Spencer, who played Leo McGarry, chief of staff, has passed away. And so they chose Sterling K. Brown to reprise his role. And he was fabulous. He was absolutely great.
Yeah, I really like him a lot. And the thing is, his role as Randall, you wouldn't necessarily think of him as an action hero. And of course, he plays a Secret Service guy who protects the president and actually takes a bullet for the president at one point.
So the setup of it, you go into the pilot, and you think it's a political thriller sort of thing.
Yeah.
You open up. Sterling K. is he's Xavier Collins. He's lead agent on the President's Secret Service detail. He is something that was really interesting. He goes for a run, and he runs to the president's residence.
Yes.
And he goes in, and I'm like, okay, we've had some flashbacks. So is this a former president?
When we flash back first, it says 5 years later.
Yeah.
And the president has started, I believe, his second term.
Yeah.
So we're thinking, okay, he's no longer president. So, starting to put together this is his home after he's left the White House. And, of course, you still have Secret Service details after you leave the White House if you're president.
You do. And so the president played by Cyclops himself, James Marsden. And he was in Superman Returns.
Yes, he played Lois Lane's husband. At that point.
That's right. Because Superman had gone off.
Superman had been missing for several years.
So Marsden is assassinated. He's killed in his bedroom.
Yeah.
And so it sets up a murder mystery. You think it's a political whodunit.
Yeah.
So Chris Marshall is the head of Secret Service, who we know her from
For All Mankind.
For All Mankind.
Yeah.
And so she comes in, and anyway, so it sets this whole thing up. Then you realize, as you finish up the first episode, nothing is what it seems.
Nothing, yeah.
This idyllic, city, this gorgeous looking, it looks like a retirement community, is actually a bunker.
Yes.
In a mountain in Colorado, and the show is taking place 3 years after a doomsday event.
Right.
And so everything's been turned on its ear. And that's a common theme throughout this whole show.
Yeah.
It goes from kind of a sci-fi post-apocalyptic to a murder mystery to survivalist all the way through, and it pivots a couple, 3 times.
And there's a whole thing about the haves and the have-nots, the power struggle between those things, misinformation, the way that people are controlling what people know because people don't realize, what's going on outside of the bunker, and we don't either, until midway through the series. That first reveal, where you realize they're in something, you see the sun, that's actually a big light tracking on this rail. Yeah. There's this whole Truman meets Silo kind of feeling to it, right?
Exactly.
It's like
the Truman Show.
The Truman Show,
Yeah.
And then Silo, this is like the prequel to Silo. Now, I don't think Paradise is based on any existing book or other intellectual property, right?
I don't believe it is. So, I'm looking here. It was greenlit in April 23. Sterling K is also an executive producer.
Right.
And it's been greenlit for season 2 already.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So,
and I will say, and again, we mentioned spoilers, so I liked the way they were able to leave you wanting more, but still give you a satisfactory conclusion to the series. We got through with one thing we needed to get through with. We found some things out that we needed to find out, but there's a whole other mystery now that we want to be there for season 2. So I'm really looking forward to season 2, and hope it's not something that's going to take forever to get done.
So it premiered on ABC on January 29th. I did not realize it was on ABC.
I didn't either.
And then it was a special 10 p.m. broadcast, which would have been a 9 o'clock broadcast. Okay. And then they moved it to FX. And then, so it's been on FX, but available at 11 o'clock the night of Hulu.
So it feels like, I'm seeing people talk about it now as if they're just starting to discover it. So it may not have done well on those first offerings.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think it, and I think it's going to be a summer broadcast on ABC.
Like
the entire
season
series.
2?
No.
Oh, okay,
the
gotcha.
Entire,
they'll
the
do
entire
that.
season one.
Kind of a new thing they've started doing is to, like they did that with Voyager. I'm not Voyager, but Strange New Worlds.
Yeah,
they put that on CBS for a little while.
Well, and they did the same thing with Yellowstone.
Oh, yeah, they sure did.
Yeah,
they sure did.
So, if you're looking for something to drop in, and you've got all these holes in schedule. So,
I'm trying to find a member of the cast that I thought was somewhere else, and I cannot find him. So,
who was it?
It's the guy that played the librarian.
Yeah, we need to be real careful about that. We don't need to go down that road. That was a huge reveal.
But, he's the library. It's kind of neat. The library is a neat part. The president is a huge fan of 80s and 90s music, which is one reason you hear this Phil Collins soundtrack. You don't hear Phil Collins doing it. You hear alternate versions, usually slowed down quite a bit, of songs from that era,
which is great.
Yeah, and Marsden's character, what's the president's name? Cal.
Steven? No, not Cal Stevens. Cal Stevens was the Friday Night Pitcher out here in Mississippi State. Bradford.
Cal Bradford. Did not want to be president. His father's controlling kind of guy, and made him, do that. He wanted to be an English teacher, but loves all this music and always is trying to get
his son
to be involved in it. I was trying to remember what the son's name was.
Was it Matthew?
Jeremy? Jacob?
Sure.
Okay. Anyway, son of Cal.
Yeah.
Involved in it. And there's just, there's all this kind of dysfunction between, Cal's father, Cal's son, his wife, all this kind of stuff. And a lot of it comes from this idea that Cal is president. He doesn't want to be. He's a president in a time that's not a great time to be the president. But he makes this mixtape, and so from that you get a lot of this music that fills the show.
The librarian's played by Ian Merrigan, who the only thing I recognize that he was in previously was Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
But he was not in This Is Us, was he?
No, okay. No, I don't. He was in Bitter Homes and Gardens.
Homes and Gardens. That's hilarious.
Never heard of that show.
Anyway, so like I said, so really, there's other than the people we've mentioned, the 4 people I think we've mentioned, I really hadn't seen much of anybody else in this.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of false leads, a lot of red herrings. You think you're going one way. It's probably said that there's a twist, something changes up. I thought it did a good job of doing that without making you feel like losing interest or something didn't add up.
Absolutely.
It seemed like when we got to the conclusion of the thing, everything seemed to make sense.
And the doomsday scenario was pretty unique, all in all.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah,
I don't necessarily want to spoil that. You don't learn that until later on.
There's also a feeling of Failsafe, the serious movie, and Doctor Strangelove, the comedic movie of the end of the world. You get a little bit of that.
There's no fighting in the war room.
That's right. And and the idea of a bunker being used to preserve mankind. But it really, really was a neat movie. And I think that they've set it up so that, like I said, we won't go into what the last scenes were, but the last scenes, like I said, you've got a satisfactory end, but it's even better knowing you've got a season 2 coming up because it's not going to be just more of the same.
It's a huge cliffhanger.
Yeah.
At the end. And how did you like the way that they used the flashback technique?
I thought it worked really well.
And they did that in This Is Us, right?
That's what I was going to say. They one of the best twists of a premiere episode of a television show to me has to be what we saw in This Is Us, because you're watching that show, and of course it's long ago now, I won't worry about spoilers, but you're watching that show and you're thinking you're seeing the events as this couple goes to have their children, and they're going to have triplets. One of the triplets doesn't make it, and at the same time, if I remember it correctly, at the same time you're seeing these other folks, and you think they're going through kind of similar experiences, and you think all these people are contemporaries. At the end, you see that the couple decides to adopt an African American child who's an orphan, and because they're already ready for 3 children too, and you realize what you're seeing with the people with the babies, that's a flashback, and the people that you've seen in what you think it's all the same time period, but the other people you see are in our current time, so they're the grown-up children. Yeah. And then you had flashbacks from when they were kids, so you would go back and forth. But the twist, you didn't know that was happening until the very last scene. And wow, that really got us. So it was a very good twist. This one worked very much the same way. You went, oh, okay, I did not see that at all. Didn't expect that coming.
Yeah. Very well acted, very well shot, directed.
Yeah. Everybody in it's good. The kids that are in it are really good.
They're great, yeah.
And like I said, actors, especially the people that played some of the other Secret Service agents, had not seen them before, but really, like these folks. I mean, there's some strong performances by these folks too. And like I said, just a lot of interesting storylines. I've heard some people say that there wasn't a lot of character development in it, but I think there are characters that probably have yet to be developed, but we saw, Billy, the Secret Service agent, we saw a lot about his life and how he came to be what he is.
Well, and the TV show takes place over like 5 days.
I know. Yeah. You forget that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're flashing back to different times in the past, but the actual events that are current to the TV show are only taking place in 5 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's deep.
It's a lot of fun. Highly recommended. Hulu's got some stuff going on with all the murderers in the buildings.
Yeah.
Or only murders in the building.
Murders in the building. Yeah.
Only murdered in the building.
Yeah, which is coming back for another season.
Yeah.
It's already been greenlit for that and in production, I think, already.
Yeah.
So that'll be good. But yeah, I'm really hoping this one will not take the 2 or 3 years that Severance took.
Isn't that the truth, man?
And I do think, we talked about Severance. I think Paradise kind of eclipsed Severance for us while we were watching it. It was the show we couldn't wait to see the next episode.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of the ones that the minute it's available, if I'm awake, I'm watching.
Yeah, now you watched it as it was released.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, that was hard.
Yeah, I bet that was tough. We watched it, like I said, we watched the first episode. We skipped a few days, watched 2 episodes. I'm pretty sure we binged 3 episodes at one time and then kind of finished off the rest of them. I think there are 8 episodes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So, all right. Highly recommended.
Yeah.
I think Jay's watching it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So he won't listen to this.
He won't listen. He doesn't listen to us anyway.
I think he listens more than we do.
Yeah, he probably does. But even when he's in the room where it happens,
Yeah.
he doesn't listen. So, when we all get together, the three of us and our respective wives went to go see Hamilton.
Yeah.
We need to do a breakdown.
Yeah,
on
we'll
that.
do a Hamilton show.
Yeah, maybe you two could sing parts of
Yeah.
it. You
I've
know,
been listening to the soundtrack today, as a matter of fact.
it's quiet up
We
there.
watched the first act again last night of
Did you?
Hamilton on
Yeah.
Disney Plus. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I liked our Hamilton better than Lin Miranda.
As soon and he's you can't take anything away from
Nope.
Lin-Manuel Miranda, but our guy was a better singer.
Yeah.
And that's Lin-Manuel's a great actor, singer, but as soon as he starts singing, we both went, yeah, our guy's a better singer.
Yeah, he was. So, all right, we will see you guys next time around.